Habib and Get Rich.
Welcome to Habib and Get Rich, an inspirational journey into the world of wealth building. This book is designed for those who are ready to take control of their financial future with confidence and clarity. Throughout these chapters, we'll explore proven strategies and empowering mindsets that can help transform your financial life. Whether you're dreaming of financial freedom, looking to invest wisely, or aiming to give back to your community, this guide will provide you with the tools, motivation, and practical steps to make it happen.
Each chapter focuses on a key area of building wealth, from mastering your mindset to making savvy investments. Along the way, you'll find actionable advice, real-world examples, and quotes from successful entrepreneurs and financial experts to inspire you. At the end of every chapter, there's a dedicated workbook exercise to help you put the ideas into practice, because knowledge is only powerful when applied. By engaging actively with these exercises, you'll not only read about wealth building, but start living it. No matter where you're starting from, remember that every great success story begins with a single step. Let this book be your roadmap and your source of encouragement. It's time to embrace an abundant mindset, set your sights high, and take bold actions toward your dreams. So let's begin this journey together and get rich in every sense of the word, living a life of prosperity, purpose, and fulfillment. Chapter 1. Cultivate a wealth mindset. Building wealth begins in the mind. Your attitudes, beliefs, and thoughts about money profoundly influence the financial decisions you make. If you believe that attaining great wealth is beyond your reach, that mindset can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Conversely, if you cultivate an attitude of possibility and abundance, you'll be more open to opportunities and resilient in the face of challenges. As industrialist Henry Ford famously said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." In other words, your mindset can either be your greatest asset or your biggest obstacle on the road to riches. From scarcity to abundance. Many people grow up with a scarcity mindset, a belief that money is always in short supply and that one must scrimp and save because there's never enough. While prudence is a virtue, an extreme scarcity mindset can lead to fear-driven decisions like avoiding any risks or passing up growth opportunities. To build significant wealth, it's important to shift toward an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset means recognizing that wealth can be created, not just allocated. Instead of thinking, "I can't afford it," people with an abundance mindset ask, "How can I afford it?" This shift in thinking opens the door to creativity and problem solving, allowing you to see possibilities where someone with a limiting belief might see none. Adopting an abundance mindset doesn't mean being reckless or assuming money will magically appear. It means believing that through learning, effort, and smart choices, you can expand your wealth. It involves trust in your own ability to create value and recognition that the world's wealth isn't a fixed pie. Others' success can inspire you rather than threaten you. When you find yourself thinking in terms of scarcity, such as envy over someone else's financial win or fear that you'll never get out of debt, pause and reframe. Remind yourself that you too can grow the pie through ingenuity, service, and perseverance. Beliefs about money. Our deeply held beliefs about money often come from childhood experiences or societal messages. Some people subconsciously believe money is the root of all evil, or that rich people must be greedy. If you hold negative stereotypes about wealth, you might sabotage your own efforts to accumulate it, out of a sense of guilt or fear of becoming a bad person. In truth, money is a tool, neither good nor bad on its own. What matters is the intent behind it and the actions it enables. Having more money simply gives you more choices, the choice to improve your life and to help others. Replacing negative beliefs with empowering ones is a critical step. Tell yourself, "Wealth allows me to have a greater positive impact," or "I deserve to be financially secure." By affirming positive beliefs, you train your mind to see wealth building as a worthy, attainable pursuit. One helpful exercise is to write down the messages you heard about money growing up. Did your parents often fight about finances? Were you taught that money doesn't grow on trees or that rich people are lucky? Evaluate these inherited beliefs critically. Which ones are accurate or useful and which are holding you back? Decide to let go of beliefs that cast money in a purely negative light. Embrace a new narrative. Money earned and invested wisely is a force for good. It can provide security for your family, opportunities for your children, and resources to contribute to your community. By changing the story you tell yourself about money, you lay a strong mental foundation for making and growing wealth. The power of vision. A wealth mindset is also a visionary mindset. Wealthy individuals often share a clear vision of what they want their financial life to look like. They set big goals and visualize success in detail. This isn't daydreaming. It's a proven strategy to keep the mind focused and motivated. When you have a compelling vision, for example, seeing yourself debt-free, running a thriving business, or owning multiple properties that generate passive income, you program your subconscious to notice opportunities that align with that vision. It also becomes easier to persist through temporary setbacks because you know what you're working toward. Visualization, affirmations, and goal boards are common tools that successful people use to reinforce their wealth mindset. For instance, you might create a financial vision board with images representing your goals, a dream home, the logo of a company you want to start, a charitable cause you wish to fund, or the word freedom in bold letters. Placing this board somewhere you'll see every day serves as a constant reminder of where you're headed. Over time, these visual and mental reinforcements strengthen your belief in your goals and your determination to achieve them. Habits and discipline. Mindset isn't only about thoughts and beliefs, it's also about the habits that arise from them. If you cultivate a mindset that values growth and learning, you'll likely develop habits like reading financial books, seeking mentors, or regularly tracking your net worth. If you value discipline and delayed gratification, key aspects of a wealth mindset, you'll form habits like saving a portion of every paycheck, investing consistently, and living below your means, which is a concrete goal in our list of 100 get-rich goals, as you'll see later. These habits, sustained over years, set apart those who slowly and steadily build wealth from those who only wish for it. Crucially, a wealth mindset pairs optimism with action. It's not just believing things will somehow turn out well. It's believing that you have the agency to make them turn out well, and then taking consistent action to prove it. This mindset turns setbacks into lessons. Instead of thinking, I failed, someone with a growth-oriented wealth mindset thinks, that didn't work out this time. What can I learn and do differently next time? This resilience is what helps entrepreneurs bounce back from business failures and investors recover from market downturns. They don't see failure as permanent. They see it as a stepping stone to success. Workbook exercise. Reframe your money mindset. Take a moment for self-reflection. List 3 beliefs about money that you currently hold. These could be beliefs like, making money is hard, I don't deserve to be wealthy, or if I become rich, I'll lose my friends. Write them down honestly. Now for each one, reframe it into a positive or more constructive statement. For example, original belief, making money is hard and painful. Reframe belief, building wealth takes effort, but I can enjoy the process and learn as I go. Original belief, I don't deserve to be wealthy. Reframe belief, I work hard and add value to the world, and I deserve to be rewarded for that. Original belief, rich people are greedy or dishonest. Reframe belief, wealthy people can be just as kind and ethical as anyone. With more resources, I can do more good. After reframing these beliefs, read your new statements aloud. Notice how this makes you feel. Commit to catching yourself when old negative thoughts about money arise, and immediately counter them with your new empowering beliefs. Over time, this practice will help rewire your mindset toward abundance and possibility. Chapter 2. Setting clear goals for wealth. With the right mindset in place, the next step on your wealth building journey is to set clear and ambitious goals. A dream of being rich becomes far more attainable when you break it down into specific targets and milestones. Goal setting gives your dreams a concrete form and a timeline. It lets you measure progress and adjust your strategies along the way. As motivational author Napoleon Hill observed, a goal is a dream with a deadline. In practical terms, this means that when you attach a time frame and a plan to your dreams, they stop being wishes and start becoming achievable objectives. The importance of goal setting. Why are goals so critical for getting rich? First, they provide direction. Instead of drifting financially, you have a roadmap. For example, setting a goal to build a $100,000 investment portfolio in 5 years gives you a clear target to work toward and is much more actionable than a vague wish to have lots of money someday. Second, goals help with motivation. Each time you hit a milestone, say, saving your first $10,000 or paying off one credit card, you get a boost of confidence and energy to tackle the next challenge. Third, goals allow for accountability. You can track whether you're on pace or if you need to course correct. Without goals, it's hard to know how you're doing or even where to start. A well-defined goal has a few key ingredients. It should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, often abbreviated as SMART. For instance, increase my income is too general and open-ended. A SMART version of that goal could be increase my income by 50% within the next 2 years by earning a promotion or launching a profitable side business. This goal states a clear percentage increase, measurable, a time frame, 2 years. It's ambitious, yet plausible, achievable. It ties to wealth building, relevant, and it hints at methods, career promotion or side business. When your goals meet these criteria, you have a much better chance of success because you know exactly what you want and what steps to take next. Envisioning your financial future. Start by taking some time to envision your ideal financial future. Think of it as creating a blueprint for your life of abundance. What does being rich look like for you? Does it mean having a certain net worth, owning a home, being able to travel frequently, or running your own company? Perhaps it includes being debt-free and able to retire at 45, or maybe it's about having the resources to support causes you care about. Everyone's vision will be different, and it's important that your goals reflect your personal values and aspirations, not someone else's. Don't be afraid to dream big here. Often people limit themselves to small goals because they're afraid of disappointment. But remember, aiming high has its own power. Even if you fall a bit short, you'll likely end up far ahead of where you would be with a timid goal. Write down everything that comes to mind, from the material, like owning real estate, cars, or businesses, to the experiential, like achieving financial freedom to spend time as you wish, or funding charitable projects. This list of dreams will form the raw material from which you'll craft your goals. 100. Get-rich goals, inspiration, and diversity. To help you brainstorm and clarify your targets, consider the following comprehensive list of 100 get-rich goals. These goals are grouped into categories covering different aspects of wealth building, from boosting your income and investments to upgrading your lifestyle and giving back. Use this list as inspiration. It's not necessary to adopt all these goals, but notice which ones excite you the most or align with your vision. You might choose a handful from various categories to focus on initially. Remember, these are examples to spark ideas and ambition. You can modify them or set entirely new goals that matter to you. The key is to be specific and intentional. Income and career goals. 1. Increase income by 50% within 2 years. 2. Negotiate a $20,000 plus salary raise. 3. Build 3 streams of passive income. 4. Start a profitable side business. 5. Become a 6-figure earner. 6. Launch a consulting practice. 7. Get promoted to executive level. 8. Build a 7-figure business. 9. Create a subscription-based income model. 10. Develop expertise worth $500 plus per hour. Investment in assets. 11. Max out 401k contributions annually. 12. Build a $100,000 investment portfolio. 13. Own 10 dividend-paying stocks. 14. Invest in real estate investment trusts, REITs. 15. Purchase first rental property. 16. Build a real estate portfolio worth $1 million plus. 17. Invest in index funds consistently. 18. Own shares in 5 different sectors. 19. Create a balanced portfolio: stocks, bonds, real estate. 20. Invest in cryptocurrency strategically. Business and entrepreneurship. 21. Launch an e-commerce store. 22. Create a digital product that sells while you sleep. 23. Build a business that generates $10,000 a month. 24. Franchise a proven business model. 25. Start a service-based business. 26. Create and sell an online course. 27. Build a SaaS, software as a service, product. 28. Launch a dropshipping business. 29. Start a content creation business. 30. Build a business worth $1 million plus in valuation. Real estate goals. 31. Buy your first investment property. 32. House hack to reduce living expenses. Rent out part of your home. 33. Flip a property for profit. 34. Own 5 rental properties. 35. Generate $5,000 per month in rental income. 36. Invest in commercial real estate. 37. Join a real estate investment group. 38. Buy land for future development. 39. Own property in multiple markets. 40. Create a real estate empire. Savings and emergency fund. 41. Save $50,000 in cash. 42. Build a 12-month emergency fund. 43. Save 50% of income for 1 year. 44. Automate savings to reach goals faster. 45. Save $1 million by age 50. 46. Create multiple high-yield savings accounts for various goals. 47. Save for specific goals, house, car, vacation. 48. Build a cash reserve for opportunities. 49. Save enough to take a sabbatical. 50. Create a freedom fund for early retirement. Debt elimination. 51. Pay off all credit card debt. 52. Eliminate student loans early. 53. Pay off mortgage in 15 years instead of 30. 54. Become completely debt-free. 55. Consolidate high-interest debt. 56. Negotiate better terms on existing loans. 57. Use the debt avalanche method to pay down debt. 58. Pay off car loan early. 59. Eliminate personal loans. 60. Never carry consumer debt again. Skills and education. 61. Learn high-value skills, e.g. coding, sales, marketing. 62. Get professional certifications. 63. Master financial literacy. 64. Learn to trade stocks, options. 65. Develop strong negotiation skills. 66. Master digital marketing. 67. Learn real estate investing. 68. Become proficient in tax strategies. 69. Develop leadership skills. 70. Learn multiple income generating skills and network and relationships. 71. Build relationships with successful mentors. 72. Join mastermind groups. 73. Attend wealth building conferences. 74. Network with investors and entrepreneurs. 75. Find accountability partners for goals. 76. Build professional relationships in target industries. 77. Connect with real estate agents and brokers. 78. Develop relationships with financial advisors. 79. Join investment clubs. 80. Build a personal board of advisors. Tax and legal optimization. 81. Maximize tax deductions and credits. 82. Set up business entities for tax benefits. 83. Use tax advantage accounts, IRA, HSA. 84. Implement tax loss harvesting on investments. 85. Create estate planning documents. 86. Protect assets through proper insurance. 87. Use legal structures to minimize tax burden. 88. Take advantage of business expense deductions. 89. Optimize tax strategy with professional help. 90. Understand tax implications of investments. Lifestyle and mindset. 91. Live below your means consistently. 92. Develop a millionaire mindset. 93. Track your net worth monthly. 94. Create and stick to a budget. 95. Eliminate lifestyle inflation. Avoid unnecessary upgrades as income grows. 96. Focus on value over price when spending. 97. Build daily habits that support wealth building. 98. Set and review financial goals quarterly. 99. Celebrate milestones without derailing progress. 100. Create a legacy plan for future generations. These 100 goals cover a wide spectrum, illustrating that getting rich is not a single goal but a balanced combination of many objectives. You might notice that some goals are about increasing income, like getting a raise or starting a business. Others focus on managing and growing money, like investing in stocks or real estate. And others emphasize financial security, like having an emergency fund or eliminating debt. There are also goals about personal growth, learning new skills, building relationships and lifestyle, enjoying travel or luxury, or giving back. True wealth isn't just about a bank account balance, it's about financial stability, personal fulfillment, and the freedom to live life on your terms. Prioritizing and planning your goals. Looking at a long list of potential goals can feel overwhelming. The point of brainstorming is to expand your sense of what's possible. Now it's time to zero in on the goals that matter most to you. A good strategy is to pick a few major goals, perhaps one or two from each category that resonates with you, and break them down into short-term, medium-term, and long-term objectives. For example, a long-term goal might be build a 7-figure investment portfolio within 15 years. Medium-term goals to support that could include invest at least $500 per month for the next 5 years and purchase 2 rental properties in the next 10 years. Short-term goals could be open an investment brokerage account this month or save $5,000 this year to invest. Prioritizing is essential. You might decide that becoming debt-free and establishing an emergency fund are your first priorities before aggressive investing. Or you might prioritize increasing your income through career or business moves so that you have more capital to deploy later. There's no wrong answer. What's important is that you commit to a set of goals and start working on them. You can always revisit and revise your goals annually or as your life circumstances change. In fact, reviewing goals regularly is itself a great habit, as listed in goal number 98 above. Once you've chosen your top goals, write them down and keep them somewhere visible. Break each goal into actionable steps. If your goal is to own a home in 3 years, your steps might include checking your credit score, saving for a down payment, getting pre-approved for a mortgage, and researching neighborhoods. Put target dates on these steps to create mini deadlines. This is how big goals are achieved. One bite-sized task at a time, consistently and with a clear direction. Staying accountable. Accountability can make a huge difference in sticking to your goals. Share your financial goals with a trusted friend, family member, or mentor who will encourage you and hold you accountable. You could also join a community or group. Remember goal number 72, join mastermind groups, where members check in on each other's progress. Sometimes just knowing that someone will ask you, "Hey, how's that savings goal coming along?" is enough to keep you on track on days when your motivation wanes. Tracking your progress is another way to stay accountable to yourself. Consider keeping a financial journal or spreadsheet where you log milestones, debts paid off, monthly savings, investment growth, etc. There are also numerous apps that can help with tracking specific goals, like budget apps for savings goals or habit trackers for daily actions. Seeing the numbers move in the right direction over time can be incredibly motivating. And if they aren't moving as quickly as you'd hoped, tracking gives you the data to adjust your approach rather than giving up. Workbook exercise, define your top 5 financial goals. Now it's your turn to set some goals. Using the inspiration from the 100 Get Rich Goals list and your own dreams, write down your top 5 financial goals. Make sure each goal is specific and has a target date. For example, first goal, save a $20,000 down payment for a house. Target date, 24 months from now. Second goal, pay off all student loan debt. Approximately $15,000 remaining. Target date, 18 months from now. Third goal, increase my annual salary to $80,000. Target date within 1 year through a promotion or new job. Fourth goal, start a side business selling handmade products online. Target date, launch by next July and earn at least $500 per month within a year of launch. Fifth goal, max out contributions to my retirement account for the next 12 months. Target date, by end of this year, contribute the IRS yearly maximum. After listing your 5 goals, write a 1-paragraph action plan under each goal detailing the first few steps you'll take. For instance, for the down payment goal, your action plan might start with create a budget to save $833 per month, cut dining out to once a week and cancel unused subscriptions, set up automatic transfer of $400 from each paycheck to a savings account. Doing this for each of your goals will clarify what needs to happen next. Keep this plan where you can review it frequently. As you achieve these goals, don't forget to celebrate your progress, then set new goals to keep yourself growing. Chapter 3. Maximizing your income and career growth. Your primary income, the money you earn from your job or main profession, is the cornerstone of most people's wealth-building strategy. The more you earn and save or invest during your working years, the faster you can reach your financial goals. Therefore, actively managing and boosting your career and income is a vital step on the path to getting rich. This could mean seeking promotions, negotiating raises, switching to higher-paying roles, or adding new income streams. As business philosopher Jim Rohn wisely noted, you don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. The key to earning more is to increase the value you provide, whether to your employer, clients, or customers. Excel in your current role? One of the simplest ways to boost your income is to become outstanding at your current job. This means going beyond the basic job description. Look for ways to solve problems, take initiative, and improve results for your organization. The more indispensable you are, the more leverage you have when it comes to asking for a raise or a promotion. Start by mastering the core skills of your role. Seek feedback from supervisors and act on it. Volunteer for projects that stretch your abilities or increase your visibility in the company. Building a reputation as a reliable, proactive, high performer sets you up for advancement. Don't shy away from negotiating your salary. Many people accept the first offer or wait passively for annual raises that barely keep up with inflation. If you've been delivering strong results, gather evidence of your achievements and the value you've added, e.g. money saved, revenue increased, clients satisfied, then have a conversation with your manager about a pay increase. Market research is important too. Know what your role and experience are worth in the broader job market. It's not about ultimatums. It's about making a clear case that you're contributing at a level that merits higher compensation. Remember, one of the goals we listed earlier was to negotiate a $20,000 plus salary raise. This is achievable with preparation, timing, and confidence. Sometimes growth means looking beyond your current employer. If you find your advancement is capped or your industry is stagnant, consider switching companies or fields for better opportunities. Leverage the skills and accomplishments you've built to land a higher paying position elsewhere. Today's economy is dynamic. Many people progress financially by making strategic moves between organizations, often netting significant salary bumps in the process. Just ensure that any jump is well considered. Research the new company's culture and stability so you don't trade short-term gains for long-term uncertainty. Develop high-income skills. To command a higher income, it helps to develop rare or valuable skills that few others have. Think about what skills in your industry are in high demand. For example, a marketer who learns advanced data analytics or a sales professional who becomes an expert in a new CRM software can become much more valuable to employers. In technology fields, mastering new programming languages or earning certifications like AWS for cloud computing or CISCO for networking can lead to substantial raises. In business or finance, developing strong negotiation or leadership skills can propel you into higher paying roles. The goals list in Chapter 2 includes examples like learn high-value skills and get professional certifications. Make it a point to identify 1 to 2 such high-impact skills that align with your career and dedicate time to learning them. Learning doesn't stop at formal education. Embrace continuous professional development through online courses, workshops, or even by finding a mentor in your field. Not only will these skills increase your earning potential, but they also provide career insurance, staying relevant and adaptable in a fast-changing job market. If you become known as the person who knows how to do X, where X is a crucial, scarce skill, you'll find employers and clients willing to pay a premium for your expertise. Multiple income streams. While excelling in your main job is important, truly wealthy individuals often have more than one stream of income. This doesn't mean you need to juggle 5 full-time jobs, but it might mean starting a side hustle or passive income project. For instance, you could do freelance consulting or take on gigs in the evenings or weekends using skills you already have. If you're a graphic designer by day, you might freelance on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr for extra clients. If you're a teacher, you could tutor students online. The idea is to monetize a skill or passion outside of your primary job. Starting a side business can also be an avenue to significantly boost your income. Perhaps you've noticed a market need or you have a hobby that can be turned into profit. Starting small is fine. The goal is to create an additional income source. Many great companies began as side projects. Moreover, a side hustle can diversify your income, which adds financial resilience. If you were to lose your job or face a cut in hours, having that extra income stream can keep you afloat. Refer back to the goals list. Build 3 streams of passive income, or start a profitable side business were in our top 10 goals. Even if your side venture doesn't start as passive, with time you can automate or delegate parts of it to make the income more passive. Keep in mind, managing multiple streams of income requires good time management and focus. You don't want a side hustle to detract from your performance at your main job, at least not until that side hustle is ready to become your main focus. It's often a balancing act. Dedicate a few hours each week to nurture the additional income source, and as it grows, you can decide whether to scale it up further. Some side hustles might even evolve into full-fledged businesses that eventually surpass your salary income, giving you the option to become your own boss. Climbing the career ladder. Advancing into higher paying positions usually means taking on more responsibility. If your ambition is to reach a senior or executive level, like one of the goals, get promoted to executive level. Think about what that entails. It could mean managing a team, overseeing budgets, or driving strategy. Start cultivating those leadership and management skills now. You can volunteer to mentor junior staff, lead a small project team, or simply study the management styles of those above you. Observing and modeling effective leaders can teach you a lot. Additionally, don't underestimate the power of communication skills. Being able to clearly articulate ideas and motivate others is a hallmark of those who move up in organizations. Networking within your industry also plays a role in career advancement. Get to know people not just in your company, but in your field at large. Attend industry conferences, join professional associations, or participate in online forums, LinkedIn groups. Often, higher-level job opportunities come through connections and word of mouth. Being well connected can open doors to roles you might not even hear about otherwise. Knowing your worth. Throughout your career journey, regularly assess your market worth. This includes staying informed about salary ranges for your position and skills in your region, and knowing what other companies are willing to pay. Websites like Glassdoor or PayScale can provide rough benchmarks. If you find that you're underpaid relative to the value you provide, that's a signal to advocate for yourself, either within your company or in the job market. It also underscores why continuously increasing your value through skills and accomplishments is so important. It gives you the leverage to command higher pay. Remember, increasing your income is not about greed. It's about fueling your financial goals. The extra money you earn is what will power your investments, your debt payoff plan, your real estate purchases, and so on. Think of each additional dollar earned as a soldier you can deploy to work for you in the form of investments or protect you in the form of savings. Many of the wealthiest people attribute their success not to one single drastic event, but to the steady accumulation of gains over time, regular raises, profitable projects, multiple income sources, all of which were directed into building their net worth. Workbook exercise. Career advancement plan. Take a moment to create a brief career advancement plan. Answer the following questions in writing. 1. Next role or raise. What is the next position you aspire to, or how much of a raise? Would you like, e.g., promotion to senior manager or a 15% salary increase in your current role? Second skill gap. What skills or experience do you need to acquire to make yourself a strong, Candidate for that role or raise, list at least 2 to 3 areas, e.g., need to improve public speaking and project management or gain certification in XYZ. Action steps, what actions will you take in the next 6 months to move closer to that? Goal, identify at least 3 concrete steps, e.g., enroll in an advanced Excel course, take on a leadership role in the next project, schedule a meeting with my boss to discuss growth opportunities, additional income, if you have a side hustle idea or opportunity for, freelancing, consulting, describe what it is and one step to start or expand it, e.g., set up a website for my side business or reach out to 2 potential freelance clients. After detailing these points, review your answers and set one immediate task you can do this week to kick off your plan. For example, research a course, email a mentor, update your resume, etc. By plotting out your path to a higher income and actively working on it, you're investing in your greatest wealth building tool, yourself. Chapter 4. Saving Money and Smart Budgeting. While increasing income is one side of the wealth equation, managing what you keep is the other. Many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck because of poor saving habits and uncontrolled spending. To truly get rich, you must not only make money, but also save and invest a significant portion of it. As legendary investor Warren Buffett advises, do not save what is left after spending, instead spend what is left after saving. Asterisk. In other words, pay yourself first. Treat your savings like an essential bill that gets paid before any discretionary spending. Creating a budget that works. A budget is simply a plan for your money. It tells you exactly how much is coming in, how much is going out, and where it's going. If you've never budgeted before, you might be surprised to find leaks in your finances, little expenses that add up over time, that daily coffee, unused subscriptions, impulse purchases. Start by tracking your expenses for a month or two to establish a baseline. Categorize your spending, housing, utilities, food, transportation, entertainment, etc. This exercise alone can be eye-opening. Next, set up a monthly budget. One classic approach is the 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of your income to needs, rent, groceries, bills, 30% to wants, dining out, hobbies, travel, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. This is a guideline. You can adjust the percentages based on your goals. If you're aggressively trying to pay off debt or save for a down payment, you might push the savings number higher and trim wants for a while. The goal number 43 from our list, Shin. Save 50% of income for 1 year is an extreme but illuminating challenge. Even if you can't sustain 50%, trying it teaches you how much you can cut out when you commit. Use tools that make budgeting easier. There are many apps and software like Mint, YNAB. You need a budget or even a simple spreadsheet that can streamline the process. Automate what you can. For instance, set up an automatic transfer to your savings account each payday. This helps with Buffett's advice. Money goes to savings before you even see it in checking. Similarly, consider auto-paying bills to avoid late fees and to simplify your financial life. The power of an emergency fund. Life is full of surprises, some of which can be expensive. An emergency fund is a stash of money set aside specifically to cover unexpected expenses, like a car repair, medical bill, or sudden job loss. Without an emergency fund, people often resort to credit cards or loans when surprise costs hit, which can spiral into debt. Aim to build an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. Goal number 42 in our list was a 12-month emergency fund for maximum security. This might seem like a lot, but you can start small. Your first target might be $1,000, a common suggestion, and then build up to 1 month, 3 months, etc. Keep your emergency savings in a safe, liquid account, like a high-yield savings account or money market account, where it's earning a bit of interest, but can be accessed quickly without penalties. Importantly, treat this fund as untouchable except for true emergencies. A vacation or holiday shopping spree is not an emergency. You may even want to keep the emergency account at a different bank from your main checking, so it's slightly out of sight, out of mind, reducing temptation to dip into it. Cutting expenses strategically. Saving more isn't just about earning more, it's often about spending less. This doesn't mean depriving yourself of everything fun, it's about intentional spending. Examine your expenses and identify areas where you derive little value relative to their cost. Maybe it's subscriptions or services you hardly use, or dining out very frequently out of convenience. Perhaps it's an expensive apartment when a cheaper one would do, or a luxury car lease that's draining your funds. Align your spending with your priorities. Spend generously on what truly matters to you and ruthlessly cut the rest. A great mindset shift is to think in terms of value, not price. For example, a low-priced item you never use is worth less than a more expensive item you use daily. Also consider the long-term cost. A $5 latte habit every workday is about $100 a month, which compounded over years could be thousands of dollars in investments. That doesn't mean no lattes ever if they bring you joy, but it means being conscious. The goal: reduce your monthly spending by 10% without sacrificing quality of life. From our extended list is a good practice. Trim the fat, keep the muscle of your budget. One technique for cutting expenses is to implement a cool-off period for non-necessary purchases. If you see something you want, new gadget, outfit, etc., give yourself 48 hours before buying. Often, the impulse will pass and you'll save money. When grocery shopping, a simple trick is to stick to a list and don't go when hungry. These small disciplines add up over time. Avoiding lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation means increasing your spending as your income rises. It's the reason many people who get raises or windfalls still struggle financially. They immediately upgrade their lifestyle, nullifying the extra income. Combat this by setting firm rules for yourself. For instance, if you get a raise or bonus, commit a percentage of it, say 50% or more, to savings or investments before you even adjust your budget. You can certainly enjoy some of your increased income, but do so deliberately. Remember goal number 95. Eliminate lifestyle inflation. If you were living comfortably on $50,000 a year and now you make $60,000, there's no need to instantly move to a pricier apartment or buy a new car. Bank the difference and let it accelerate your journey to wealth. Peer pressure and social media can fuel lifestyle inflation. Seeing friends or influencers constantly posting about new cars, exotic vacations, or dining at fancy restaurants can trigger the fear of missing out, FOMO. Remind yourself that those images don't show the whole story. They might be financed by debt or hiding financial stress. Stay focused on your own progress. True financial success is rarely loud or flashy. Often millionaires are quietly saving and investing while living in modest homes and driving reliable cars. Thomas J. Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door famously discusses this phenomenon. When to splurge within reason. So being frugal doesn't mean never enjoying your money. In fact, a sustainable budget is one that has room for fun. The key is moderation and making sure you truly can afford the splurges. Budget in some fun money each month, an amount you can spend guilt-free on whatever you want. If you've hit a savings goal or paid off a debt, reward yourself within a set limit to celebrate. This positive reinforcement can keep you motivated. Wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. Depriving yourself of every little joy is a recipe for burnout. So if that daily coffee or occasional nice dinner is something you cherish, plan for it in the budget. The difference now is you're conscious of it and you have made sure it's balanced by your saving objectives. It's possible to enjoy life today while planning for a richer tomorrow, as long as you're intentional. Workbook exercise, budget analysis, and adjustment. For this exercise, gather your financial statements from last month, bank account, credit cards. Analyze your spending by category. You can do this by writing down totals for categories or using a spreadsheet. Once you have the data, answer these questions. 1. Biggest categories. What were your top 3 spending categories, e.g., housing, food, entertainment, and how much did you spend on each? 2. Surprises. Did anything surprise you? Maybe you spent more on takeout or subscriptions than you realized. Identify 1 or 2 areas where spending was higher than you expected or higher than you'd like. 3. Cuts. From those areas, decide on at least 2 expenses to reduce or eliminate this. Coming month, be specific, e.g., limit dining out to once a week or cancel X streaming service. Estimate how much this will save you. 4. Saving boost. Determine where that saved money will go. Ideally, directly to savings or Debt payoff. For example, the $100 saved from dining out will go into my emergency fund each month. 5. Emergency fund plan. If you don't have an emergency fund or it's not fully funded, set a goal for it, e.g., save $5,000 for emergency fund in 12 months. Calculate how much you need to save monthly to reach that goal and include that in your budget going forward. Implement these adjustments and track your spending again next month to see the difference. Over time, regularly auditing and tweaking your budget will ensure that your money is being used as a tool to support your goals rather than slipping away unnoticed. Chapter 5. Eliminating debt and building credit. Debt can be one of the greatest obstacles to wealth if not managed properly. High-interest debts like credit card balances or payday loans can quickly spiral and eat away at your income, leaving little to save or invest. On the other hand, not all debt is bad. Mortgages or student loans at low interest rates can be seen as investments in your future. The key is to eliminate toxic debt and use any necessary debt wisely. Personal finance expert Dave Ramsey often says, "Debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice." Asterisk. The message is clear. A debt-free life is a financially free life. Good debt versus bad debt. It's important to distinguish between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is generally used to purchase assets that may appreciate or generate income. For example, a reasonable mortgage on a home, a loan to start a profitable business, or student loans for a valuable degree can be considered investments in your future, provided you don't overextend and the terms are fair. These types of debt come with relatively low interest rates and a clear plan for repayment. Bad debt, conversely, is typically incurred for buying things that depreciate quickly or have no lasting value, often at high interest rates. Credit card debt used to finance shopping sprees, carrying a balance for nights out, or loans for luxury items are common culprits. The interest on these debts can be staggering. Credit cards often charge 15%, 20%, or more annually. That means every $1,000 of credit card debt could cost you $200 in interest per year if unpaid, money that could have been working for you in investments instead. A general rule, if you're borrowing to purchase something that won't increase in value or produce income, and especially if the interest rate is high, think very carefully. Usually, it's better to wait and save up instead. The goal from our list: never carry consumer debt again is a worthy aspiration. Once you clear your consumer debts, commit to living within your means so you don't fall back into the debt trap. Strategies to pay off debt. If you have existing debts, there's no time like the present to make a plan to eliminate them. Two popular methods for paying off multiple debts are the debt snowball and the debt avalanche techniques. Debt snowball. You list your debts from smallest balance to largest. You focus all extra payments on the smallest debt first, while paying at least the minimum on all others. Once the smallest is paid off, you take the freed up money and apply it to the next smallest, and so on. This method gives quick wins and psychological boosts as you knock out accounts one by one. Debt avalanche. You list your debts by interest rate, from highest to lowest. You focus extra payments on the debt with the highest interest first, while paying minimums on the rest. This method is mathematically optimal because you eliminate the most costly debt first, saving money on interest in the long run. Both methods work. The best one is the one you'll stick with. If you need motivation, Snowball can be great to build momentum. If you're purely numbers driven, Avalanche might appeal to you. You can even hybridize them. For example, pay off a couple of small nagging debts first, then switch to interest order for the rest. Whichever method you choose, consider automating your debt payments or setting up bi-weekly payments for things like mortgages or student loans, if possible. Paying half the amount every 2 weeks instead of once monthly can result in an extra payment each year. 26 half payments equals 13 full monthly payments in a year, and reduce interest. If high interest debt is overwhelming, look into options like refinancing or consolidating. For example, if you have high interest credit card balances, you might get a personal loan at a lower rate to pay them off, or use a balance transfer offer, 0% APR for a period, to reduce interest while you pay it down. Be careful with these tools. Don't use them to justify more spending. The goal is to reduce interest costs and simplify payments, not to postpone dealing with the problem. Building a great credit score. Your credit score is a measure of your credit worthiness and can impact everything from loan approvals to interest rates and even job or rental applications. A high credit score, generally 750 and above, can save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over your life by qualifying you for the best rates on mortgages, car loans, etc. One of our earlier goals was to achieve an 800 plus credit score, which is an excellent target. To improve or maintain your credit score, focus on these factors. Payment history, 35% of score. Always pay at least the minimum on time. Late payments can seriously hurt your score. Setting up auto pay or reminders is wise. Credit utilization, 30%. This is the percentage of your credit limits you're using. It's recommended to keep it below 30%, and under 10% is ideal for top scores. For example, if you have a $10,000 total credit limit across cards carrying more than $3,000, 30% could hurt your score. Paying down balances or requesting higher limits without increasing spending can improve this ratio. Length of credit history, 15%. The longer you've had credit accounts open, the better. That's why it's usually not a good idea to close your oldest credit card, even if you don't use it much. Its age helps your score. New credit, 10%. Opening several new accounts in a short time can ding your score, as it suggests potential financial stress or risk. Credit mix, 10%. Having a variety of credit types, installment loans like mortgages, car loans, and revolving credit like credit cards can slightly help, but it's not crucial. Don't take on debt just for mix. Focus on the first two factors primarily. Monitor your credit reports. You can get them free annually from each of the three bureaus via annualcreditreport.com, and check for errors or fraudulent accounts that could be dragging you down. Correcting errors can sometimes give your score a quick boost. Staying debt-free. Once you've paid off a debt, whether it's a credit card or your car, consider redirecting that payment amount into savings or investments. You were surviving without that money already, so make it work for you now. This is how you turn a debt payoff victory into an ongoing wealth-building engine. For example, if you finally paid off a $300 per month car payment, start putting that $300 into an investment account each month thereafter. You'll be amazed how quickly that grows. Additionally, build up that earlier mentioned emergency fund to avoid future debt. Nothing is more frustrating than paying off a credit card and then having an unplanned expense force you to swipe it again. An emergency fund breaks that cycle by giving you a buffer. Commit to a cash or debit lifestyle for discretionary purchases if you struggle with credit card discipline. Some people find that switching to cash envelopes or a debit card for day-to-day spending keeps them from overspending because there's a more tangible sense of money leaving. Credit cards, if used, should ideally be paid in full each month to avoid interest. If you do use them, say, to get rewards or convenience, treat them like tools, not an excuse to buy things you can't afford. Remember, every dollar of debt you pay off is like a guaranteed return on investment equal to the interest rate. Paying off an 18% credit card is like earning 18% risk-free, an amazing payoff. Becoming debt-free, aside from maybe a mortgage, is a common milestone on the journey to wealth. It not only frees up your income for better uses, but it provides peace of mind. Many people describe a huge weight lifted once they're free of the burden of debt payments. Workbook exercise debt payoff plan. List all your current debts, credit cards, student loans, car loan, etc. For each, write down the balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. Now do the following. First, order your debts. Decide whether you'll tackle them via snowball, smallest balance at first, or avalanche, highest interest first. Then order your list accordingly. You can even rewrite the list in that order for clarity. 2. Budget allocation. Determine how much extra money in total you can put toward debt, each month beyond the minimums. Look back to your budget from Chapter 4 to find this number. Maybe you freed up $200 or $500 by cutting expenses. This will be your attack fund. 3. Execute. Apply your attack fund to the first debt on your list each month while paying minimums on others. Calculate approximately how many months it will take to wipe out that first debt. Mark that month on your calendar as a target. 4. Next steps. Plan what you'll do once the first debt is gone, e.g., roll its payment into the next debt. Write a short sequence like, after debt A is paid, around June next year, I will put $300 a month into debt B, which should then be paid off by, and so on. This forms a rough timeline for your debt freedom. 5. Celebrate and close. For each debt, think of a small, low-cost way you'll celebrate its payoff, like a special home-cooked dinner or a hike with friends. Also, if it's a credit card you're clearing, decide if you will keep it open for credit history but unused, or close it. If overspending is a temptation, it might be wise to close or cut up the card after it's zeroed out, even if the account stays open. Execute your plan and adjust as needed if circumstances change. With determination, you'll see those balances drop month by month, and one day you'll have the exhilarating feeling of being debt-free. From then on, you can redirect all that cash flow into building wealth rather than paying for the past. Chapter 6. Investing for Long-Term Wealth. Saving money alone, while critical, is not enough to build substantial wealth. The next step is to make your money work for you through investing. Investing is how you harness the power of compound growth and the economic engine of businesses, real estate, and other assets to increase your net worth over time. To illustrate the power of investing, consider this. If you save $5,000 a year under your mattress for 30 years, you'll have $150,000 and actually less in terms of purchasing power due to inflation. But if you invest $5,000 a year with, say, a 7% average annual return, after 30 years, you could have around $472,000. The difference is huge, and that's the magic of compounding. It's no wonder Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The basics of stocks, bonds, and funds. Stocks represent ownership in a company. When you buy a stock, you become a shareholder and get to benefit from the company's growth and profits through stock price appreciation and sometimes dividends. Over the long run, stocks have provided one of the highest returns of any major asset class, but they come with volatility. Prices can go up and down in the short term, sometimes dramatically. Bonds are essentially loans you give to a government or corporation. In return, they pay you interest. Bonds are generally less volatile than stocks, but also offer lower returns. They provide income and can be a stabilizer in your portfolio when stocks are in a downturn. However, bond values can fluctuate too, especially with changing interest rates. For most people, investing through funds is an effective and convenient way to access these markets. A mutual fund or exchange-traded fund, ETF, can hold dozens or hundreds of stocks or bonds, giving you instant diversification. For example, an S&P 500 index fund lets you own a tiny slice of 500 of America's biggest companies with one purchase. Index funds, which simply track market indexes, are popular for their low costs and reliable market-matching returns. As one of our goals suggested, invest in a low-cost index fund and hold it for the long term. Capturing broad market growth is a proven strategy. Diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification means spreading your investments across different types of assets, industries, and even countries to reduce risk. The idea is that if one investment is doing poorly, others might be doing well, balancing things out. You diversify by owning multiple stocks or stock funds, not just one company's stock. You diversify further by including different asset classes, some stocks, some bonds, maybe some real estate, or other alternatives. A common balanced approach is a portfolio split between stocks and bonds that suits your risk tolerance. For instance, a classic 70-30 or 60-40 stock-to-bond ratio for long-term investors. Remember that list item about creating a balanced portfolio of stocks, bonds, and real estate. That is diversification in action. If you invest only in one company's stock and that company has trouble, your entire wealth could suffer. But if you invest in 50 companies or a fund that tracks the whole market, one company's misfortune won't derail you. Likewise, stocks and bonds often move differently. When stocks zig, bonds may zag, so holding both can smooth your portfolio's ride. The market rewards patience. Investing is most powerful when done with a long-term perspective. The stock market, for example, can be rocky in the short term. There will be corrections and crashes. However, historically, it has always recovered and reached new highs given enough time. Those who try to time the market, jumping in and out to catch the highs and avoid the lows, often end up missing the best days and hurting their returns. There's a famous saying by Warren Buffett: "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." What this means is that investors who remain calm and invested over the long haul often end up wealthier than those who panic or speculate on quick gains. The lesson is to focus on time in the market, not timing the market. Consistently investing, say every month or every paycheck, this is called dollar cost averaging, regardless of what the market is doing, is a sound strategy. When prices are down, your fixed investment buys more shares, which is good. When prices are up, your portfolio value rises. Over decades, this smooths out and harnesses the general upward trend of markets. Retirement accounts and tax advantages. If you're not already using tax-advantaged retirement accounts, make that a priority. In the U.S., for example, a 401k or 403b plan through your employer often comes with matching contributions, free money, and pre-tax or Roth options to shelter your investments from taxes. An IRA, individual retirement account, is another tool you can use independently. The benefits of these accounts are huge. Either you get a tax break now, traditional IRA 401k, and pay taxes on withdrawals in retirement, or you invest post-tax Roth IRA 401k, and then your withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. Either way, your investments grow tax-free in the meantime, which can significantly boost your compounding. Make it a goal to max out your retirement contributions if you can, like goal number 11, max out 401k annually, or goal number 17, contribute to a Roth IRA each year. Not everyone can afford to do that right away, but even increasing your contributions gradually, say by 1% of your income every 6 months, will get you closer. If your employer offers a match, e.g., they match 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary, at the very least contribute enough to get the full match, because that's an immediate 50% return on that money. Other investment avenues. Beyond stocks and bonds, there are many places you can invest. Real estate is a major wealth builder for many. We'll cover that in the next chapter. Cryptocurrencies have emerged as a high-risk, potentially high-reward asset class, with a goal in our list about investing in crypto strategically. If you choose to dabble in crypto or any speculative investment, do so with caution and only a small portion of your portfolio that you can afford to lose. You could also invest in your own business. Chapter 8 will dive into entrepreneurship, or look at investments in commodities like gold or startups as an angel investor, which is high risk. Some people invest in fine art, collectibles, or even websites that generate income, digital real estate. These alternatives can be viable, but generally only after you've covered the basics. A diversified stock bond portfolio, real estate, etc. They often require specialized knowledge and can be illiquid. The risk-return trade-off in investing, risk and reward, are two sides of the same coin. Higher potential returns usually come with higher risk, i.e., higher chance of losing money in the short term. Stocks are riskier than bonds, small or emerging market stocks riskier, but possibly higher returning than large stable company stocks, etc. The key is to find a risk level you can be comfortable with so that you stay invested. If you invest too aggressively and then panic sell during a downturn, that could set you back significantly. It's better to have a slightly more conservative portfolio that you can hold through storms than an aggressive one you abandon at the first sign of trouble. Your age plays a role in determining an appropriate risk level. Younger investors can usually afford to be more aggressive, higher stock allocations, because they have decades to recover from any crashes. As you approach retirement, preservation of capital becomes more important. shifting more to bonds or stable assets. That said, people are living longer, and even retirees might need growth for a portfolio to last 30 plus years, so it's about balance. Keep it simple and stay the course. A fancy investment strategy is not required to become wealthy. Many millionaires have accumulated their wealth by consistently investing in simple, broad-based index funds or well-understood assets and avoiding big mistakes. Rebalancing your portfolio once or twice a year, bringing it back to your target mix of stocks, bonds if it drifted, and occasionally reviewing your strategy as you hit life milestones is usually enough. In fact, overtrading and chasing hot tips often does more harm than good. The tortoise truly beats the hare in investing. Stay informed about the market and economy, but try not to get swayed by daily headlines. There's always noise and predictions of doom or hype about the next big thing. Successful investors filter out the noise and stick to their plan. One way to help with this is to automate your investments. Have a set amount that goes into your 401k or brokerage account every month automatically. This not only enforces discipline, but also helps you emotionally by making investing a routine rather than a series of decisions. Workbook exercise: start or refine your investment plan. If you're new to investing, your task is to start. If you're already investing, your task is to refine. Do the following. 1. Open an account. If you don't have a brokerage or investment account, research a reputable platform such as Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, or an app like Robinhood Acorns for beginners, and open an account. If you have a 401k at work but aren't enrolled, enroll in it. Allocate. Decide on a simple target asset allocation. For example, 80% stocks, 20% bonds. If you're young and aggressive, or maybe 60-40 if you prefer moderate risk. If unsure, consider a target date fund or a robo-advisor that automatically allocates based on your age and goals. 3. Automate contributions. Determine an amount to invest every month, even $100 counts, and set up an automatic transfer or contribution. This could be within your 401k from your paycheck or an auto debit from your bank to your brokerage. 5. Invest in broad assets. Choose one or two broad funds to start with. An S&P 500 index fund, a total stock market fund, and or a total bond market fund, for instance. If you're unsure what to pick, a target retirement fund, which automatically diversifies for you, is a fine one-decision choice. 5. Learn more. Commit to increasing your investing knowledge. Identify one book, like The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, or A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel, or a course blog podcast about investing, and set aside time to read or listen. Once you've executed these steps, you'll have taken a crucial action toward long-term wealth. Your money will be growing in the background even as you focus on other aspects of life. Revisit your investment plan at least once a year, or when major life changes happen, and increase your contributions as you're able, like when you get a raise or pay off a debt. With patience and consistency, you'll be amazed at how your investments can grow over time. Chapter 7. Profiting from Real Estate. Real estate has long been a cornerstone of wealth building. Land and properties are tangible assets that historically tend to appreciate over time, and they can also produce steady income. As industrialist Andrew Carnegie famously noted, 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. There are many paths in real estate, from owning rental properties to flipping houses to investing in real estate investment trusts, REITs. This chapter will explore why real estate is powerful and how you can get started or expand in this arena. Why real estate? There are several unique advantages to real estate investing. Appreciation. Over the long term, real estate generally rises in value. Population growth and limited land mean that well-located properties often become more valuable over the years. While there can be bubbles and crashes, a diversified portfolio of real estate tends to appreciate over decades. Cash flow. If you own rental properties, you can earn regular income from tenants. Ideally, this rent not only covers expenses, mortgage, taxes, maintenance, but leaves you profit each month. For example, one goal we listed was to generate $5,000 per month in rental income. With enough properties or units, This is achievable. Leverage. Real estate allows you to use borrowed money, a mortgage, to control a large asset. You might buy a $300,000 house with only $60,000 down, 20%. If the house goes up in value to $330,000, your equity hasn't just increased by 10%, it has increased by 50%. Your $60,000 could now be $90,000 if you sold, minus transaction costs. Leverage magnifies gains and losses, so must be used carefully. Tax benefits. Many governments offer tax incentives for property owners. Mortgage interest and property taxes can be deductible. Depreciation allows you to deduct a portion of the property's value each year as an expense, even if the property is actually appreciating. There can also be favorable capital gains treatment when you sell, especially on a primary residence. Tangible asset. Unlike stocks or bonds, real estate is something you can see and touch. Some people simply feel more comfortable investing in something concrete. You can also sometimes force appreciation by renovating or improving a property. For instance, adding a bedroom or updating the kitchen can increase a home's value and rental income potential. Buying your first property. For many, the journey begins with the first home or small rental property. If you don't own a home yet, buying one can serve a dual purpose. It gives you a place to live and builds equity over time. However, from an investment perspective, not all home purchases are equal. A modest, affordable home can be a great investment, whereas overspending on a dream home might strain your finances. If your goal is to build wealth, consider starting with something that fits your budget and allows you to still save and invest elsewhere. One strategy often recommended is house hacking. This involves finding a way for your home to generate income. For example, you could buy a duplex or a house with a basement apartment, live in one unit, and rent out the other. The rent might cover a good chunk of your mortgage. Goal number 32. House hack to reduce living expenses. Speaks directly to this. Even renting out a room in your home to a roommate or via short-term rental platforms can offset costs. When looking for a rental property, do your homework. Cash flow analysis is crucial. Estimate all expenses: mortgage, property tax, insurance, maintenance, allowance for vacancies and repairs, and see what rent you can reasonably expect. The difference is your cash flow, ideally positive. Many investors use the 1% rule as a rough gauge. If a property can rent for at least 1% of its purchase price per month, e.g., $2,000 on a $200,000 house, it's worth a deeper look for cash flow potential. This rule varies by market, though. In expensive coastal cities, it's often hard to hit 1%. Don't be afraid to start small. Your first rental might be a single-family home or a condo. As you gain experience and confidence, you can scale up to more units or properties. Each deal will teach you something new about tenant management, property upkeep, financing, and more. Over time, the rental income can become a significant passive income stream, especially once mortgages are paid off. The power of leverage and mortgage. We touched on leverage using borrowed money. A typical mortgage might cover 70 to 80% of a property's price, or even more with certain loans for first-time buyers. This allows you to control a large asset with relatively little of your own cash. The flip side is risk. If property values drop, you still owe the loan. Also, taking on too much debt can be dangerous if rents don't cover your loan payments. Thus, it's important to not overstretch. A common rule of thumb is to ensure your rental property's income covers all expenses with a buffer. Some aim for a debt service coverage ratio, DSCR, greater than 1.2, meaning the net income is at least 120% of the debt payment to have safety margin. However, when used prudently, mortgages allow you to build a real estate portfolio faster. For instance, instead of saving $200,000 to buy one house outright, you could use that $200,000 as 20% down payments on 5 houses each, worth $200,000, financing the rest. If each house appreciates and produces a bit of cash flow, your returns are amplified. Many of our goals, like own 5 rental properties, or build a real estate portfolio worth $1 million plus, would typically involve using mortgages to acquire multiple properties. Managing properties. Owning property isn't entirely passive. Tenants call when the plumbing leaks. As you acquire properties, you'll need a plan for property management. In the beginning, you might manage things yourself to save money and learn the ropes. This means advertising vacancies, screening tenants, very important to avoid costly evictions or damages, handling maintenance calls, and knowing local landlord-tenant laws. Treat landlording as a business, have a separate bank account for property income, expenses, keep good records, and maintain a professional relationship with tenants. As your portfolio grows, or if you don't want to be hands-on, you can hire a property management company. They typically charge around 8 to 10% of the monthly rent, plus sometimes a fee for filling vacancies. They will handle the day-to-day tasks and just send you the net income. This eats into your cash flow, but for many it's worth the time saved. The math might guide you. If an 8% fee still allows positive cash flow and you prefer a passive approach, it can be a good trade-off. Other real estate avenues. Directly owning rentals isn't the only way to invest in real estate. You can consider real estate investment trusts, REITs. These are like mutual funds for real estate. They are companies that own portfolios of properties, like malls, office buildings, or apartments, and trade on stock exchanges. Buying a REIT gives you exposure to real estate without the hands-on management. They also pay out high dividends by law. One of our goals was to invest in REITs, which is a great option for those who want real estate exposure but not the hassle of tenants. Real estate crowdfunding. There are online platforms now where you can invest smaller amounts into specific real estate projects or loans like Fundrise, Realty Mogul, etc. This can be a way to diversify into real estate deals that you'd otherwise not have access to, although do your due diligence on fees and risks. Flipping houses. This is more like a business or active job than investment, but it can be lucrative. It involves buying properties that need work below market value, renovating them, and selling for a profit. Flipping requires real estate market knowledge, construction know-how, and careful cost control. It can generate chunks of cash which you could then invest elsewhere. However, it carries risk if the market turns or reno costs exceed plan. Goal number 33 mentioned flipping a property for profit, which could be an exciting project if you have the interest and skill. Caution, real estate risks. Though real estate is often seen as stable, it's not without risks. Property values can decline, as seen in the 2008 housing crisis. Tenants can default or damage property. Unexpected repairs can be very costly. A roof replacement, mold remediation, etc. And properties can be illiquid. It takes time to sell and convert to cash. Also, owning multiple properties can be time-consuming. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but a long-term wealth play. Mitigate these risks by buying in locations with diverse, strong economies so property demand stays solid, keeping some cash reserves for each property for emergencies so one big repair doesn't sink you or force you into debt. Screening tenants thoroughly and perhaps requiring security deposits. Not over-leveraging. Leave yourself breathing room in case rents dip or properties sit vacant for a couple months. Real estate can be very forgiving long-term if bought wisely. Even mistakes can be bailed out by market appreciation over years, but you have to stay solvent and patient in the meantime, hence the emphasis on cash flow and reserves. Workbook exercise, real estate readiness check. If you're interested in real estate investing, let's do a quick readiness and planning exercise. 1. Financial check. Do you have a stable income, decent credit, and some savings for a down payment? Jot down your credit score and how much you could comfortably put down if you bought a property, even if it's in the future. If these aren't in place yet, note the steps. Improve credit. Save X dollars. Needed. 2. Market research. Identify 1 or 2 local real estate markets. Could be your city or another area you know well or have interest in. What are the typical home prices and rents in moderate neighborhoods? Write a couple of examples, e.g., 3-bedroom homes cost about $250,000 in rent for about $1,800 per month. This will start to tell you if the rental yields seem attractive. Third strategy, interest. What type of real estate investing appeals to you most? Rental. Properties, flipping, REITs, house hacking. Describe why and what your first step would be to pursue it. For instance, I want to buy a duplex and live in one unit. First step, talk to a mortgage broker to get pre-approved and see how much I can borrow. Or, I prefer a passive approach. First step, allocate $5,000 to buy a REIT index fund. Or even, I want to flip. First step, connect with a local real estate agent who knows fixer-uppers. 4. Education plan. List one resource to deepen your real estate knowledge. A book, like Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, or the book on rental property investing by Brandon Turner, a local real estate investors meetup, or a trusted online forum community like Bigger Pockets. Commit to engaging with that resource in the next month. Real estate is a tangible and time-tested path to wealth, but it requires learning and planning. By assessing where you stand and mapping out next steps, you prepare yourself to seize real estate opportunities when they arise. Whether it's your first home or your 10th investment property, each deal can be a stepping stone to financial independence. Chapter 8. Entrepreneurship. Creating your own wealth machine. While a strong career can provide a high income, entrepreneurship has the potential to build generational wealth. When you own a business, there's essentially no ceiling on how much you can earn. You're also building an asset that can grow in value and even be sold one day. Many of the world's wealthy got there by starting and growing companies. However, entrepreneurship comes with risks and challenges. It requires initiative, resilience, and often a lot of hard work up front. But as John D. Rockefeller put it, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Asterisk. Sometimes you have to step out of the comfort of a stable job, the good, to pursue a big vision, the great. Starting a side hustle. You don't have to quit your job to dip your toes into entrepreneurship. In fact, many successful businesses start as side hustles. This is a way to test ideas, learn business skills, and generate extra income without risking your primary livelihood. Think about what skills or passions you have that could solve a problem or fulfill a need for people. Could you offer consulting or freelance services? Create a product, physical or digital, to sell? Start an e-commerce store? The internet has made starting many types of businesses easier and less expensive than ever. From the goals list and launch an e-commerce store, or create a digital product that sells while you sleep. Capture the allure of online business. For example, you might start selling homemade crafts on Etsy, or design a course that teaches a skill, or write an ebook. The income from these can be passive or semi-passive once set up. If one idea doesn't work out, you can try another. The barrier to entry is relatively low. Time management is key when running a side hustle alongside a full-time job. You have to carve out regular hours, maybe early mornings, evenings, or weekends, and stay consistent. Treat your side business professionally, even if it's small. Set goals for it as you would for anything else, e.g., get 10 paying clients in 3 months, or earn $1,000 a month from this by end of year. Track your progress and adjust strategies as needed. Many side hustles can grow into substantial businesses. There are countless stories of people who started baking cakes at home, fixing computers, or tutoring students as a side gig, and ended up with a thriving company. Even if your side hustle remains small, the extra income can accelerate your path to wealth by boosting savings and investments, as we discussed in earlier chapters. Launching and scaling a business. If you've got a business idea that you're passionate about and perhaps you validated it on a small scale, you might consider going all in and making it your full-time endeavor. This is a big step, and ideally, you should have a solid plan. Create a business plan that covers what problem you're solving, who your customers are, how you'll reach them, marketing, how you'll make money, pricing, revenue model, what costs you'll incur, and how you'll differentiate from competitors. It doesn't have to be a 50-page document, but you need to think these through. Funding is often a concern for new entrepreneurs. Can you self-fund from savings or your side hustle profits? Will you seek investors or perhaps a bank loan? Many businesses start lean, using personal funds and revenue from early sales to grow, bootstrapping. This forces discipline and creative problem solving. Others might need capital. For instance, a manufacturing product might require money for prototypes and inventory. Weigh the pros and cons of taking on debt or outside investors who will expect a say in your business. Sometimes starting smaller and proving the concept can make it easier to attract funding later if needed.
When you do launch, be prepared for hard work. As an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, you're often wearing many hats. You might be the CEO, marketer, customer service rep, and accountant all in one. It's a lot, but it's also an incredible learning experience. Every skill you pick up not only benefits your business, but also makes you more valuable overall. The early phase might require long hours, thus the phrase, entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours for someone else, with a smile. The payoff is the autonomy and the possibility of building something far larger than you could as an employee. As your business finds its footing, think about scalability. A business that requires your constant personal effort for every dollar, like billing hourly with no team, can be hard to scale beyond a certain point. Explore ways to grow, hiring employees or contractors, developing systems and processes so operations run smoothly, expanding your product line or service offerings, entering new markets, etc. Automating tasks or delegating is crucial. Goal number 47 in our extended list was automate key aspects of your business to create a passive income stream, which is exactly about scaling beyond just your own labor. Embracing failure and persistence. Not every business will succeed, and that's okay. In Silicon Valley, they say, fail fast, fail forward. Each failure teaches you something that increases your chance of success next time. The key is to start small enough that a failure is not ruinous. If your first product launch is a flop, view it as market research and try a pivot or a different idea. Many iconic entrepreneurs had failures before hits. What matters is persistence and adaptability. Also, be prepared to iterate. Rarely does a business end up exactly as it started. Pay attention to customer feedback and market demand. You might find that your customers love one feature of your product and not the rest, so you pivot to focus on that one thing. Or you might notice a customer segment you didn't originally target that is very interested, so you shift your marketing. Remember that building a business is not just about money. It can be deeply fulfilling to create value for others and see your ideas come to life. However, from a wealth perspective, one huge advantage of owning a business is equity. The ownership itself can become extremely valuable. If you grow your company and one day sell it, that could result in a massive windfall. Even if you never sell, a successful business can provide you high income and an asset to pass down or slowly step away from as others run it. True financial freedom. Networking and mentorship in business. Entrepreneurship can be lonely at times, so build a support network. Connect with other entrepreneurs through local business groups or online communities. Share challenges and learn from each other. Often, someone else has already solved the problem you're facing, and getting their insight can save you time and money. Finding a mentor who has built a business in your industry can be invaluable. They can provide guidance, open doors, and help you avoid common pitfalls. Many experienced entrepreneurs enjoy giving back and will gladly offer advice if you show genuine passion and respect for their time. Additionally, don't overlook free or low-cost resources. Small business development centers in the U.S., courses on platforms like Coursera or Udemy about entrepreneurship, books like The Lean Startup by Eric Ries or biographies of entrepreneurs you admire. Absorb all the knowledge you can, but also know that action is the best teacher in business. There comes a point where you learn most by doing, launching and then refining as real customers interact with your business. Workbook exercise, entrepreneurial brainstorm. Whether you already have a business idea or not, let's do an entrepreneurial brainstorm. Problem solution. Identify one problem, need, or pain point you or people you know. Have. It could be as simple as healthy meals are hard to prepare when working full-time, or local businesses need better social media presence.
Now, brainstorm a product or service that could solve that problem, e.g., a meal prep delivery service or a freelance social media manager for local shops. Write down the problem and your proposed solution. 2. Skill product inventory. List your top 3 skills or things you enjoy doing, e.g., writing, coding, baking, teaching. Next to each, write a business or side hustle idea that could stem from it, e.g., freelance writer or starting a blog, developing a simple app, selling custom cakes, tutoring online, or creating a course. 3. One small step. For one idea that excites you the most, identify the smallest first step you could take to test or start it. Is it setting up a simple website or social media page? Is it asking friends if they'd be interested in your baked goods or creating a sample product? Write down this first step and a date, ideally within the next week, to do it. 4. Time allocation. Examine your weekly schedule and see where you could free up 5 hours or more for your entrepreneurial project. Perhaps it's reducing TV time or waking up an hour earlier thrice a week. Note down when you'll schedule this work time. This exercise is meant to move you from thinking to doing. Many people have ideas, but few act on them. By pinpointing a problem and a solution you can offer, and then committing to a first step in some dedicated time, you transform a vague idea into a nascent business. Keep the momentum by setting new goals for your enterprise as you complete each step. Who knows? Your small side project could grow into the next big success story, or at least a very rewarding venture both financially and personally. Chapter 9. Continuous Learning and Self-Improvement. Your mind is the greatest asset you have in the journey to wealth. The knowledge, skills, and habits you cultivate will directly impact your earning capacity, your decision-making, and your resilience. That's why investing in yourself yields incredible returns. As Warren Buffett said, by far the best investment you can make is in yourself. When you improve your skills or education, no market crash or economic downturn can take that away from you. This chapter focuses on personal development, from learning high-value skills to nurturing a growth mindset as a critical component of getting rich. High-value skills for a high-value you. We've touched on skill development in the context of career and income, but let's broaden the view. High-value skills are those that are in demand and not easily replaced. They might be technical, like coding, data analysis, or engineering skills, interpersonal, like sales, negotiation, public speaking, or conceptual, like strategy, problem-solving, creativity. Which skills are most valuable will depend on your field or the path you choose, entrepreneurship, corporate, etc., but some skills, such as effective communication, are universally powerful. Identify the top 2 to 3 skills that would make the biggest difference in your financial life. For example, if you're in business, maybe it's mastering digital marketing or advanced Excel for financial analysis. If you're aiming for leadership, perhaps it's people management and strategic planning. If you want to manage your investments, mastering financial literacy and analysis is key. Then make a plan to acquire those skills. This could involve taking online courses. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, or LinkedIn Learning have vast options. Attending workshops or boot camps, or finding a mentor who is an expert in that area. Remember that learning isn't confined to formal education. In fact, self-education can often be more directly tied to your success. Jim Rohn noted, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." The thrust of this is that what you proactively learn on your own time about money, investing, business, and personal excellence can pay huge dividends. If you adopt the habit of continually upgrading your skills, you become more adaptable and better equipped to seize opportunities. For instance, someone who learned about web development on the side could freelance or build an app. Someone who self-studied real estate could spot and execute a lucrative property deal. As Jim Rohn famously said, "Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune." Asterisk, reading and research, your secret superpowers. One common trait among many successful people is that they are avid readers. Reading is a way to mentor yourself with the knowledge of those who've gone before you. Whether it's biographies of great entrepreneurs, guides on investing, or even forums and articles on specific topics, make continuous learning a part of your daily or weekly routine. We had a goal in our extended list to read one book on finance or business each month. Consider taking up that challenge. If not books, then long-form articles or podcasts can also impart wisdom and spark ideas. You might also engage in more formal learning if it suits your goals, pursuing a certification like a PMP for project management, CPA for accounting, or CFA for finance, or even an advanced degree if it has a clear career payoff. However, weigh the costs and benefits carefully. These traditional routes can be expensive, and you want to ensure they'll significantly boost your earning potential or network. Personal habits and productivity. Building wealth is not just what you do, but what you do consistently. Habits are the invisible architecture of our daily lives. Cultivating productive habits can dramatically affect how quickly and smoothly you reach your goals. Some key habits that support wealth building include time management. Treat your time as a valuable resource. Plan your days and weeks. Prioritize high-impact tasks and eliminate or outsource low-value activities when possible. This ensures you're making steady progress on your goals. Goal review. As suggested in our goal list, set and review financial goals quarterly. Regularly check in on your progress, celebrate wins, and set new targets. This keeps you focused and accountable. Health and energy. It may not be obvious, but your physical and mental health hugely impact your financial life. Maintaining good health through exercise, proper sleep, and stress management gives you the energy and clarity to perform well in your career or business. It's hard to climb higher if you're constantly burned out or sick. Networking and positivity. Surround yourself with positive, ambitious people. We'll dive more into networking in the next chapter. The habit of networking, regularly connecting with peers, attending events, engaging in communities, can open doors unexpectedly. Also, practice gratitude and positive thinking. These foster resilience and an abundance mindset, which attract opportunities. Financial literacy. Many highly educated individuals never learn the basics of personal finance, budgeting, investing, taxes, insurance, etc. If you want to get rich and stay rich, you must become financially literate. Take the time to educate yourself on money management, read personal finance books or blogs, take a course on investing basics, learn how to read a financial statement. The more you understand, the more confident and effective you'll be in growing and protecting your wealth. For example, do you know how compound interest works? We covered that in investing. How credit scores are calculated. We went over it in the debt chapter. The different types of retirement accounts like 401k versus IRA, or how to evaluate a stock or property. If some of these topics sound unfamiliar, list them out and commit to learning about them one by one. We live in an age where information is at our fingertips. Take advantage of it. You might even enroll in a local workshop or online seminar. For instance, many libraries or community centers offer free financial literacy classes. Mindset, growth, and resilience. Finally, self-improvement loops back to mindset. Embrace a growth mindset, the belief that you can improve and learn anything with effort and time. This makes you open to challenges. You see them as opportunities to grow rather than threats, and persistent when facing setbacks. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset has shown it leads to greater achievement. When you approach your financial journey with a growth mindset, you think, I may not know this yet, but I can learn it, or I'm not good at budgeting yet, but I can get better with practice. This mental framing is powerful. Also, cultivate resilience. Not every endeavor will work out. Not every year will be prosperous. Those who succeed long-term are those who bounce back from failures, adapt, and keep going. Strategies for building resilience include maintaining perspective. A failure is usually not the end, just a lesson. Seeking support from mentors or peers during tough times, and sometimes just taking care of your mental health through breaks, hobbies, or mindfulness practices. Workbook exercise, personal development action plan. Let's make a concrete plan for investing in yourself. Answer the following. 1. Skill to learn. What is one high-impact skill you commit to learning or improving in the next 6 to 12 months? E.g., I will learn Python programming, or I will become proficient at public speaking. Write it down. 2. Resources. List at least 2 resources you will use to learn that skill. This could be a specific course. Name it, a book, title, a website or community, or a person who could teach or mentor you. 3rd, schedule. Decide when you will work on this learning. How many hours per week and which days, times. Treat it like an appointment with yourself. For example, Tuesdays and Thursdays 7 to 9 p.m. will be dedicated to skill learning. Put it on your calendar. 4. Financial literacy boost. Identify one area of personal finance or investing that you feel least knowledgeable about: taxes, real estate investing, stock analysis, etc. Find one book, podcast, or course on that topic and commit to going through it. Write down, I will read, listen to resource about topic by date. Habit check. Choose one positive habit you want to build or negative habit to break. That will support your wealth journey. It could be track all expenses daily, or read for 30 minutes every morning, or limit social media to 15 minutes a day. Use a tracker or journal to mark each day you follow this habit for the next 30 days. 1 month of consistency can lay the foundation for a lasting habit. By clearly outlining how you will grow and putting a timeline to it, you ensure that investing in yourself isn't just a nice idea, but a real project you're working on. Remember, you are your own greatest asset. Every dollar and hour you put into improving yourself will pay off many times over in the wealth and success you can create. Chapter 10. Building a powerful network and support system. No one achieves great success entirely alone. The people you surround yourself with can profoundly influence your mindset, opportunities, and ultimately your wealth. There's a famous saying by Jim Rohn: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Star. If you want to get rich, it pays to spend time with people who have achieved what you aspire to, or at least who encourage and support your ambitions. This chapter is about cultivating relationships, from mentors and peers to partners and advisors, that propel you towards your goals. The value of mentors. A mentor is someone who is a few steps or many steps ahead of you in some field, who is willing to provide guidance and advice. A good mentor can save you years of trial and error by sharing their experiences and insights. They can also open doors by introducing you to their network. If you don't already have a mentor, consider seeking one. Think about what area you want mentorship in: career advancement, entrepreneurship, investing, etc. And identify individuals who have the expertise and accomplishments in that area. Approaching potential mentors can be intimidating, but many successful people enjoy helping those who show genuine eagerness to learn. When reaching out, be respectful of their time and maybe start by asking a couple of specific questions or advice on a particular challenge. If there's a natural rapport, you can ask if they'd be open to meeting occasionally for mentorship. Sometimes mentorship relationships form informally. You might just regularly update the person on your progress and ask for feedback. Remember to listen and apply their advice as appropriate. It's the best way to show you value their input. Goal number 71 in our list was build relationships with successful mentors. Notice it's plural. You can have multiple mentors for different aspects. Perhaps one for technical skill growth, another for business strategy, another for life balance. Or as you progress, you'll seek out new mentors for new challenges. Continuously learning from those ahead of you is a hallmark of high achievers. Expanding your network. Networking is not about collecting business cards or adding random people on LinkedIn. It's about forming meaningful connections. Start with the mindset of giving value to your network, not just taking. This could be as simple as sharing useful information, making introductions that benefit others, or supporting peers' projects. When you approach networking as a two-way street, you build goodwill and a positive reputation. Attend events related to your interests and goals, industry conferences, seminars, meetup groups, alumni events, etc. If you're an introvert, networking can be challenging, but set small goals, like aim to have just 1 or 2 good conversations at an event. Over time, as you show up consistently, people will start recognizing you. Also, don't overlook online networking, participating in forums, commenting thoughtfully on LinkedIn or other platforms, and joining online communities, like a mastermind group on Facebook or Slack, can connect you with like-minded individuals globally. The benefit of a strong network is multifaceted. You learn about opportunities, jobs, partnerships, investments through people. You might find business partners or co-founders via networking. If you're starting a business, your network could become your early customers or refer customers to you. If you need professional services, lawyers, accountants, a trusted network can recommend reliable ones. And when times get tough, a network can provide support, advice, or even financial help if appropriate. Mastermind groups and accountability partners. A mastermind group is a gathering of peers, often small, like 5 to 10 people, who meet regularly to push each other towards their goals, share knowledge, and keep one another accountable. For example, you might have a weekly call where each person updates on their progress, gets feedback on challenges, and sets goals for the next week. Consider forming or joining such a group aligned with your interests. There are masterminds for entrepreneurs, investors, writers, you name it. It's goal number 72. Join mastermind groups. For a reason, the synergy and motivation from a mastermind can accelerate your progress. If a full group is too much to coordinate, even having an accountability partner, one person you check in with regularly on mutual goals, can be powerful. For instance, you and a friend both trying to improve your finances could meet monthly to review budgets and investment actions. Knowing that you'll be reporting to someone can spur you to stick to your plans in those moments when laziness or distraction tempts you. Professional relationships. As you advance, you'll also want to build a team of advisors or go-to experts. This might include a good accountant or financial planner, a lawyer, a real estate agent, etc. You don't necessarily need to have them on retainer, but knowing trustworthy professionals you can consult can save you from costly mistakes. For example, before a major financial decision, a quick call to your accountant to understand tax implications can be invaluable. One of our goals was to develop relationships with financial advisors. Even if you don't need one now, you might in the future, and it's better to know who to turn to. Also, nurture the relationship with any mentors or influential people in your network by periodically updating them on your successes thanks to their help and life events. A quick email saying, "I followed your advice and just wanted to share that I achieved XYZ. Thank you again, it truly helped me," means a lot to mentors who genuinely care, and when you inevitably have a question or need down the road, they'll be more inclined to lend a hand. Cutting toxic ties. On the flip side, it's worth addressing that some relationships can hold you back. If you have friends or family who constantly discourage your ambitions, pressure you into overspending, or generally inject negativity and doubt, you may need to set boundaries. You don't necessarily have to cut people out of your life, especially family, but you can choose how much time and emotional energy to give to those who don't support your journey. Sometimes as you grow, you will outgrow certain friendships, and that's okay. Remember, you want to be around people who believe in growth and possibilities, not those who insist that striving for more is futile. Seek out those who have a can-do attitude and distance yourself from chronic complainers or pessimists when it comes to sharing your goals. You want cheerleaders and constructive critics, not dream killers. Workbook exercise, network enhancement plan. Let's put together a plan to strengthen your network. 1. Mentor outreach. Write down the name of one person you'd love to have as a mentor. Realistically accessible. Maybe a senior person in your company, field, or a family friend who is successful in business. Draft a short message or email to them, expressing what you admire about them and asking if they'd be open to a brief meeting or call to get advice. Tailor it sincerely. Don't actually send it if you're not ready, but writing it will make you more prepared to seize the opportunity when it arises. 2. Event to attend. Find one upcoming event, in person or virtual, where you could meet people in your desired sphere. It could be a seminar, networking event, conference, workshop, or meetup, mark it on your calendar and commit to going. Set a simple goal like introduce myself to 3 new people there and get contact info. 3. Mastermind accountability. If you think a mastermind or accountability partnership would help you, list 1 or 2 people who might be a good fit, friends or colleagues who are also goal-oriented. Plan to approach them about setting up regular check-ins. Alternatively, search online for existing groups in your niche and note 1 to investigate. 4. Strengthen an existing tie. Identify someone you already know who is doing something impressive or related to your goals whom you haven't talked to in a while. Send them a message to reconnect. Ask how they're doing with their projects, offer help, or share something useful with them, like an article or opportunity they might like. Genuine relationship maintenance often leads to mutual benefits down the line. 5. Upgrade. Your 5. Think about the 5 people in your life you spend the most time with. Are they where you want to be, or at least positively pushing you? If not, brainstorm one way to start connecting more with people who inspire you. It might be spending more time at the co-working space with ambitious entrepreneurs rather than at home, or joining a club of professionals in your industry. Write a specific action to adjust your circle, even slightly, toward the direction you want. Taking these steps will ensure that your journey to wealth is not a lonely one. Instead, you'll have guides, allies, and companions. And as you rise, remember to help others along too. That generosity tends to come back around in unexpected and rewarding ways. Chapter 11. Living your rich life and giving back. Wealth is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. The ultimate goal for most people isn't just to have more zeros in a bank account, but to live a rich life, one full of meaning, freedom, and joy. Part of that includes enjoying the fruits of your labor, and part of it for many includes helping others and leaving a legacy. In the journey to get rich, it's important not to lose sight of why you wanted wealth in the first place. As Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Asterisk. In this chapter, we'll explore lifestyle design and philanthropy as integral components of true wealth. Defining your rich life. A rich life is personal. For some, it means traveling the world and experiencing different cultures. For others, it might mean having a beautiful home to host family gatherings, or the flexibility to work on passion projects, or the ability to retire early and pursue hobbies. Take time to visualize what a rich life looks like for you. Not just the material things, but the day-to-day quality of life. How do you spend your mornings? Who are you with? What activities fill your days? This vision will keep you motivated and guide your financial decisions. If a choice doesn't align with creating that life, you may reconsider it. For example, taking on a certain business venture or investment risk might not be worth it if it conflicts with the lifestyle you ultimately want. It's also perfectly okay to include some luxuries in your vision. Maybe you want to drive a luxury car or have designer clothes or eat at fine restaurants regularly. As long as those are conscious choices and you can afford them without jeopardizing your financial security, they can be part of your rich life. We had goals like own a luxury vehicle or stay at a 5-star hotel in every major city you visit. Such experiences can be meaningful rewards for your hard work. The key is moderation and making sure you've handled the fundamentals, steady income, savings, investments first. Avoiding lifestyle creep. We touched on lifestyle inflation in Chapter 4, but it's worth reiterating. As your income grows, be intentional about which aspects of your lifestyle you upgrade. By all means, improve your life. Move to a safer neighborhood, get a reliable car, enjoy better food, but do it within a plan. The danger is when every increase in income immediately and unconsciously gets absorbed by higher spending. That can leave you no better off in terms of financial freedom than before the raise or windfall. A rich life isn't about constantly chasing more expensive stuff. It's about having the freedom to spend on what matters to you and not worrying about the rest. One tactic is to tie luxury spending to specific milestones. For example, when I have X dollars in investments or passive income of Y dollars per month, then I'll buy that dream car. This ensures that your splurges come from a position of true affordability. Another tactic is the concept of pseudo-rich versus actually rich. Pseudo-rich people might lease flashy cars and live in McMansions but be drowning in debt. Actually rich people often have less showy outward signs but significant assets and financial stability. Aim for actual wealth over the appearance of wealth. You'll sleep better at night and truly be better off. The role of gratitude and enjoyment. As you build wealth, regularly practice gratitude. It's easy to always focus on the next goal and forget how far you've come. Take moments to appreciate the improvements in your life that your hard work has afforded. Gratitude keeps you grounded and happy throughout the journey, not just at the destination. Some successful people keep gratitude journals, noting things they're thankful for each day. This can improve mental well-being and perspective. Remember to enjoy the journey. Yes, you might be hustling and grinding, but take breaks and treat yourself occasionally. Life is happening now, not just in some wealthy future. If you have a family, spend quality time with them. Those relationships are priceless. If you love certain activities that aren't too costly, hiking, playing music, etc., don't neglect them in pursuit of money. A rich life is well-rounded and rewarding on multiple levels. Philanthropy and giving back. Many people find that giving back becomes one of the most fulfilling aspects of having wealth. Once your own needs are comfortably met, using your resources to uplift others or support causes can give a profound sense of purpose. This could mean donating to charities, funding scholarships, investing in social enterprises, or even just helping out friends and family in times of need. Our goals had items like donate a significant amount of money to a cause you care about, or start your own charitable foundation, reflecting how common the desire to contribute is among those aiming for wealth. If philanthropy appeals to you, think about what issues or groups you feel strongly about. Is it education, healthcare, environmental conservation, local community projects? You can start small. Maybe allocate a certain percentage of your income, even 1 to 5%, to charitable giving. Some people follow tithing or similar principles of giving 10%. The exact figure is up to you and your capacity, but the act of giving can actually reinforce positive money habits. It reminds you that money is a tool and that you have enough to share. Moreover, charitable giving can have financial perks in the form of tax deductions depending on your country's laws. Not that saving on taxes should be the main driver, but it's a nice bonus that can make giving a win-win for you and the recipient. There are also ways to give that involve your time and skills rather than money, volunteering or mentoring, which can be just as valuable. Some of the wealthiest individuals like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have pledged to give away the majority of their wealth through initiatives like the Giving Pledge. While our scale might be smaller, the spirit can be the same. Use what you have to make a difference. The satisfaction and sense of legacy from helping others can far outweigh the pleasure of buying another luxury for yourself. Legacy planning. Part of thinking long-term is considering the legacy you want to leave. This could be through your family, ensuring your children are financially secure and well-educated. Through your community, perhaps projects or endowments in your name, or through ideas and values, like a business or book that outlives you. Financially, this means doing estate planning. Once you accumulate significant assets, it's wise to have a will, possibly set up trusts, and structure things so that your wealth transfer is smooth and in line with your wishes. We had a goal about create a legacy plan for future generations. Don't neglect this as you grow older and wealthier. Legacy isn't just money. It can be the impact you've had on people's lives. Mentoring others, raising children with good values, contributing to positive change, these are all part of a rich legacy. When you consider what you want people to remember about you, it often boils down to how you made them feel or the opportunities you helped create. Keep that in perspective, even as you focus on financial goals. Workbook exercise, your rich life blueprint. This exercise ties everything together by focusing on the life you're building and the difference you want to make. 1. Lifestyle. Vision. Describe a day in your ideal rich life in a short paragraph. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? And what makes it satisfying? This might include the comforts, home, travel, etc., and the freedoms, not having to work a 9 to 5 or doing work you love. that wealth provides. 2. Top 3 priorities. List the 3 things that matter most to you in life, e.g., family, creativity, community, health, faith, etc. Reflect, is your current financial plan helping you enhance these priorities? If not, consider how it could. For example, if health is a priority, maybe part of your rich life plan is to afford a personal trainer or high-quality organic food or time for exercise. If community is one, maybe you envision funding local initiatives. Note one financial goal or habit that aligns with each priority. 3. Giving plan. If you were to allocate, say, 1% of your income right now to a cause or charity, which would it be? Write down the cause and how you could contribute money, time, or skills. If you're not ready now, identify an income or net worth milestone at which you'll start actively donating. For example, once I'm debt-free and have a 6-month emergency fund, I will donate $100 per month to cause. 4th legacy. Thought. Imagine it's far in the future, and someone is speaking about the impact you've had at a celebration or memorial. What would you want them to say? Write a few sentences that capture the legacy you aim to leave, e.g., she was always helping others reach their potential, or he changed the community with his generosity. This isn't morbid, it's guiding. It can highlight how you want to use your wealth and influence over your lifetime. By regularly reflecting on these aspects, enjoyment, purpose, and legacy, you ensure that getting rich isn't just a hollow financial pursuit, but a holistic building of a life that is truly rich in all senses of the word. After all, the ultimate goal is not just to accumulate money, but to use that money to live a life that makes you and others genuinely happy and fulfilled. Chapter 12, Putting It All Together, Your Roadmap to Financial Freedom. We've covered a vast array of topics, from cultivating the right mindset to mastering investing, from climbing the career ladder to giving back. It's a lot to absorb, but now it's time to synthesize everything into a cohesive plan for your financial future. Knowledge, as powerful as it is, means little without action. As motivational speaker Tony Robbins reminds us, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. The fact that you've journeyed through these chapters means you've already begun. You have the vision and the tools. Now it's about execution and perseverance. Crafting your personal wealth plan. Think of your wealth building journey as a project, perhaps the most important project of your life. Approach it with the same clarity and organization you'd apply to a major work project or a home renovation. Here are some steps to craft your plan. Set specific goals. By now, you likely have a list of financial goals from Chapter 2. Ensure they are specific, measurable, and time-bound. For example, save $100,000 for a house down payment in 5 years, or achieve $1,000 per month in passive income within 3 years. Write these down in one place. This is your destination list. Break down goals into milestones. Take each goal and break it into smaller chunks. If your goal is $100,000 in 5 years, that's roughly $20,000 a year, or about $1,700 a month to save, ignoring investment growth. If one goal is to start a business, milestones could be develop prototype by X date, first sale by Y date, etc. Milestones make big goals less intimidating and let you celebrate progress along the way. Assign actions to each chapter's lessons. Review each chapter's key advice and think of one action for each that applies to you. For instance, mindset. Read affirmations each morning. Career. Take that certification course. Saving. Implement new budget next month. Debt. Set up automatic extra payment. Investing. Open IRA and set auto contribute. Real estate. Attend real estate meetup. Entrepreneurship. Launch website for side hustle. Skills. Enroll in online class. Networking. Schedule lunch with mentor. Philanthropy. Volunteer at local charity monthly. These actions, tailored to your situation, become part of your master to-do list. Timeline and tracking. Lay out a rough timeline for major goals and check-ins. Maybe you'll tackle aggressive debt payoff over the next 18 months, then shift that freed up cash to investing. Perhaps you'll aim to buy your first rental property 2 years from now, giving you time to save and learn. Use a spreadsheet or even a calendar to mark key target dates. Importantly, schedule periodic reviews, say once a quarter, to assess your financial situation versus your plan, weighing in akin to tracking fitness progress. By tracking net worth, debt balances, investment growth, etc., you can quantitatively see that you're moving in the right direction. Adapting and learning. Life is unpredictable. Your plan will likely change over time, and that's normal. Economic conditions shift, personal circumstances evolve, and sometimes opportunities or challenges appear out of nowhere. Treat your wealth plan as a living document. If you get a new job with a higher salary, update your saving and investing goals upward. If the stock market enters a downturn, maybe you pivot to investing more while prices are low, if your situation allows. If you start a family, you might incorporate college savings or adjust risk levels. The key is to remain flexible and keep learning. Maybe you'll discover a new investment vehicle or a better strategy for something as you continue educating yourself. Integrate those. Always be willing to ask questions and seek advice. The journey to wealth isn't one you have to take blind. Countless others have done it, and they've left clues. Keep reading books, listening to financial podcasts, or even hiring a financial advisor if you feel you need a professional second opinion.
Consistency and persistence.
If there's a secret to wealth, it's the magic of compounding, not just of money, but of consistent effort. Saving $500 one month is not life-changing, but doing it every month for 10 years is huge, especially when invested. Similarly, learning for 1 week won't make you an expert, but continuous learning over a career makes you a powerhouse. Persistence means you keep going even when enthusiasm wanes or when you face setbacks. There will be times when motivation dips, maybe a stock you picked tanked, or you had an unexpected expense wipe out some savings, or progress just feels slow. These are the times to recall your why. Revisit Chapter 11's Rich Life Vision. Think about the freedom and security you're building. Also lean on your support network, Chapter 10. They can encourage you and keep you accountable. And remember, even slow progress is progress. Every debt dollar paid off is a victory. Every extra hour worked on your business is building something.
Celebrate milestones.
Make sure to pat yourself on the back at milestones. Human brains are wired to crave rewards, so give yourself some healthy ones. Paid off a credit card, treat yourself to a nice dinner within budget. Hit a new high in your savings. Maybe buy that item you've been delaying, assuming it's not too extravagant. Celebrating keeps the journey enjoyable and your motivation high. It also reminds you that wealth building is improving your life along the way, not just at the end. Looking ahead. Financial freedom doesn't mean an end to money management. It just means money is no longer a primary stress or limiter. Many people find that once they don't have to work for money, they work on things they're passionate about, which often leads to even greater success, ironically. Some travel the world or start charities or take up new challenges. Think about what you'll do with your freedom as it expands. It will help ensure that when you reach your goals, you find them fulfilling and not directionless. A goal in our list was about having kao basto, the freedom to pursue your passions without financial constraints. That is a North Star to guide you. What passions will you pursue? Finally, recognize that the end of this book is really the beginning of your journey. You're equipped with knowledge and inspiration. Now it's your turn to act on it. Start today, whether it's drafting that budget, making that phone call, or simply deciding and writing down your top goal. The sooner you begin, the sooner you will see results. And remember, this is a long-term journey. Don't be discouraged by small setbacks or slow starts. With each chapter's wisdom in your toolkit, you have everything you need to achieve financial success. Empowering, enriching, and full of potential, that's the life awaiting you as you apply the principles of Habib and get rich. Stay focused, stay determined, and never stop dreaming big. The road to wealth is not always easy, but it's absolutely within your power. Here's to your journey toward prosperity and a truly rich life.